great Hector is now fighting at our ships. He has broken through the gates and the strong walls that held them. Thus did the earth encircler address the Achaeans and urge them on. Thereon, round the two Ajaxes, there gathered strong bands of men, on whom not even Ares nor Athena, marshaller of hosts, could make light, if they went among them, for they were picked men of all those who were now awaiting the onset of Hector and the Trojans. They made a living fence, spear to spear, shield to shield, and buckler to buckler, helmet to helmet, and man to man. The horsehair crest on their gleaming helmets touched one another as they nodded forward, so closely serried were they. The spears they brandished in their strong hands were interlaced, and their hearts were set on battle. The Trojans advanced in a dense body, with Hector at their head, pressing right on as a rock that comes thundering down the side of some mountain, from whose brow the winter torrents have torn it. The foundations of the dull thing have been loosed by floods of rain, and as it bounds headlong on its way, it sets the whole forest in an uproar. It swerves neither to right nor left till it reaches level ground, but then for all its fury it can go no further. Even so easily did Hector for a while seem as though he would career through the tents and ships of the Phaeacians till he had reached the sea in his murderous course, but the closely serried battalions stayed him when he reached them, for the sons of the Phaeacians thrust at him with swords and spears pointed at both ends and drove him from them, so that he staggered and gave ground. Thereon he shouted to the Trojans, Lycians, and Dardanians, fighters in close combat, stand firm. The Achaeans have set themselves as a wall against me, but they will not check me for long. They will give ground before me, if the mightiest of the gods and thundering spouts of Hera has indeed inspired my onset. With these words he put heart and soul into them all. Deiphobus, son of Priam, went about among them intent on deeds of daring, with his round shield before him, under cover of which he strode quickly forward. Meronius took aim at him with a spear, nor did he fail to hit the broad orb of oxhide, but he was far from piercing it, for the spear broke in two pieces long ere he could do so. Moreover, Deiphobus had seen it coming, and had held his shield well away from him. Meronius drew back under cover of his comrades, angry alike at having failed to vanquish Deiphobus, and having broken his spear, he turned therefore towards the ships, and tents to fetch a spear which he had left behind in his tent. The others continued fighting, and the cry of battle rose up into the heavens. Caesar, son of Telamon, was the first to kill his man, so went to the warrior Imbrius, son of Mentor, rich in horses, until the Achaeans came. He had lived and Piediam, and he married Metesicaste, a bastard daughter of Priam. But on the arrival of the non-fleet, he had gone back to Ilium, and was a great man among the Trojans, dwelling near Priam himself, who gave him like honor with his own sons. The son of Telamon now struck him under the ear with a spear, which he then drew back again, and Imbrius fell headlong as an ash tree when it fell on the crest of some high mountain beacon. Its delicate green foliage comes toppling down to the ground. Thus did he fall, his bronze-dyed armor ringing heartily round him, and Caesar sprang forward with intent to strip him of his armor. But as he was doing so, Hector took aim at him with a spear. Caesar saw the spear coming and swerved aside, whereon it hit Amphilochus, son of Ctetus, son of Actor, in the chest as he was coming into battle, and his armor rang rattling round him as he fell heavily to the ground. Hector sprang forward to take Amphimachus's helmet from off his temples, and in moments Ajax threw a spear at him, and he did not wound him, for he was encased all over in his terrible armor. Nevertheless, the spear struck the boss of his shield with such force as to drive him back from the two courses which the Phaeacians then drew off. Sitius and Amentius, captains of the Athenians, bore away Amphimachus, the host of the Phaeacians, while the two brave and impetuous Ajaxes did the like by Imbrius, as two lions snatch a goat from the hounds that have it in their fangs, and bear it 3 feet rushwood high above the ground in their jaws. Thus did the Ajaxes bear aloft the body of Imbrius, and strip it of its armor. Then the son of Oileus severed the head from the neck in revenge for the death of Amphimachus, and sent it whirling over the crowd as though it had been a ball, till it fell in the dust at Hector's feet. Poseidon was exceedingly angry that his grandson Amphimachus should have fallen. He therefore went to the tents and ships of the Phaeacians to urge the Danaans still further, and to devise evil for the Trojans. Idomeneus met him as he was taking leave of a comrade who had just come to him from the fight, wounded in the knee. His fellow soldiers bore him off the field, and Idomeneus, having given orders to the physicians, went down to his tent, for he was still thirsting for battle. Poseidon spoke in the likeness and with the voice of Thoas, son of Andromon, who ruled the Aetolians of all the Pleuron and the high Calydon, and honored among his people as though he were a god. Idomeneus said, Lawgiver to the Cretans, what has now become of the threats with which the sons of the Achaeans used to threaten the Trojans? And Idomeneus, chief among the Cretans, answered, Thoas, no one, so far as I know, is in fault, for we can all fight. None are held back neither by fear nor slackness, but it seems to be the will of Almighty Zeus that the Achaeans should perish ingloriously here, far from Argos. You, Thoas, have been always staunch, and you keep others in heart if you see any fail in duty. Be not bereaved now, but exhort all to do their utmost. To this Poseidon, lord of the earthquake, made answer, Idomeneus, may he never return from Troy, but remain here for dogs to batten upon. Who is this day willfully slack in fighting? Get your armor and go. We must make all haste together, if we may be of any use. Though we are only two, even cowards gain courage from companionship, and we too can hold our own with the bravest. Therewith the god went back into the thick of the fight, and Idomeneus, when he had reached his tent, donned his armor, grasped his two spears, and sallied forth, as the lightning which the son of Cronus brandishes from the bright Olympus, when he would show a sign to mortals, and its gleam flashes far and wide, even so did his armor gleam about him as he ran. Meronius, his sturdy squire, met him while he was still near his tent, for he was going to fetch his spear. And Idomeneus said, Meronius, fleet son of Maulus, best of comrades, why have you left the field? Are you wounded, and is the point of the weapon hurting you, or have you been sent to fetch me? I want no fetching. I had far rather fight and stay in my tent. Idomeneus answered Meronius, I come for a spear if I can find one in my tent. I have broken the one I had, and throwing it at the shield of Deiphobus. And Idomeneus, captain of the Cretans, answered, You will find 1 spear or 20, if you so please, standing up against the end wall of my tent. I have taken them from Trojans, whom I have killed, for I am not one to keep my enemy at arm's length. Therefore I have spears, bossed shields, helmets, and burnished corselets. Then Meronius said, I too in my tent and at my ship have spoils taken from the Trojans, but they are not at hand. I have been at all times valorous, and whenever there has been hard fighting, have held my own among the foremost, where there may be those among the Ukians who do not know how I fight, but you know it well enough yourself.